EU lost credibility to fault Tinubu's election, failed to address Donald Trump's stolen election claims in 2020. Appeal court, more from People's Gazette. Can you imagine? Now, wow. So what is APC saying now? That EU lost credibility to fault Tinubu's election and also failed to address Donald Trump's stolen election claims in 2020. Appeal court says. Can you imagine? So what are you saying? That EU does not know what they're saying or what? All of them are, both EU or America and the West, all of them, we don't understand what they're doing. They're not honest to themselves. If not, they will not support somebody that came to power by fraudulent means like this one. The judges of the Presidential Election Tribunal have criticized the European Union's report on February 25 general election, saying the bloc lacked the authority to speak in Nigeria's election-related issues while remaining silent on the EU 2020 presidential election. The five-man judge panel headed by Justice Haruna Samani, which upheld President Bola Tinubu's victory on Wednesday, accused the EU of maintaining a definite silence on the outcome of the U.S. election, despite a comment by Lionel Brett JSC, also European. Former President Donald Trump criticized the U.S. election that saw President Joe Biden win as being rigged and filled with fraud. The EU Election Observation Mission had, in its final report, said the presidential polls exposed on enduring systemic weaknesses and signaled a need for further legal and operational reforms to enhance transparency, inclusiveness, and accountability. While the presidency had rejected the report and described it as a product of poorly done desk job, the presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, through his lawyer Chris Uche-San, tendered the EU report while cross-examining an INEC witness, Lawrence Bayode. The tribunal admitted in evidence the report on July 4th. But the judges mocked the petitioners who brought the EU Election Observation Mission report to court. They declared that the report had no bearing on the validity of the polling results, and was therefore inadmissible as evidence. Can you imagine? The judges also criticized the petitioners for acting irrationally, claiming that the report's details were the gospel truth about what happened during the presidential elections in February. They further indicated that the report would remain a total non sequitur, regardless of whether its authors had appeared in court to defend their findings. The judges said the impression given by both sets of petitioners is that the said report, which in any case had even been ruled inadmissible by us in petition number, this is like gospel truth of what transpired in the election, and so it must be accepted by this court, and conduct of the presidential election declared corrupt or at the very least below par, regardless of whether or not its authors presented themselves in court to defend their opinions. That stance, I am afraid, is a complete non sequitur. Can you imagine? Nobody non sequitur. These judges have proven that judiciary has killed Nigeria. Judiciary has also aided the politicians to kill Nigeria. So this five-man panel of the tribunal are just like any other judiciary arm. So both the judiciary and the politicians have killed this country finally. That is the truth. Okay? That is the truth. So whether they admit it or not, all Nigerians know the truth. Nigerians know what happened during the election period. And so when the EU report, actually Nigerians already admitted it. So whether tribunal admits it or not, Nigerian populace had admitted it already, and there's nothing they can do about that. They can only cheat in the court. They cannot cheat what is in the people's mind. And that is why let's see what happens in the next election, and let's see who will vote this Tinubu into power. Even this one I just finished, they didn't vote them. They rigged it and they know the truth. Tinubu came into power fraudulently, and I'm pretty sure that he's not going to find it easy through this period. It will not be easy. That is the truth. He will pay for all this crime against Nigerians. Someone said they were bribed by Obi and Obidio Sabi. So it's Obi and the Labour Party members that bribed the EU to write. They don't know what they are saying. And someone say, will you compare what happened in US with what Nigerians are seeing here? Don't you know if it were Nigeria, Donald Trump would have still remained US president, as he was ready to use state power to manipulate the electoral process in his favor. Don't ever compare US system to the rotten Nigerian system. I beg you in the name of God. Abi, that is the truth. The Trump wanted to use state power to rig the election to remain in power, but it didn't work for him because US is US and Nigeria is Nigeria. Somebody said, not yet Uhuru, weep not now. The day of reckoning is approaching when you will gnash your teeth. All the donations and aid to facilitate free and fair election by the EU were wasted on the altar of corruption. Now they lack credibility to report the observed manipulations and abuses by the INEC. The truth is incontrovertible. That is it. So when they collected money from you, you didn't know that they lack the power to report your election. You collected the free aid from them. They brought out the power, their report, and you're saying they lack the jurisdiction to say it. Don't worry, you will refund the money and all the aids they gave you, or you wait to get another one again. So you still run to them for aid, because that is what Nigerians are known for, and African countries, running to EU and other Western nations for aid. As always, a lamentation of laborers. Can you imagine? I believe if angels descend and conduct election, as long as it doesn't favor your candidate, you will claim it is rigged and marred with irregularities. We know what happened in Nigeria, and you don't have to tell anybody. So people are even so fed up with all these worldly elections. That is it. Some get hot in the heart once they see their own voters' card in the house and have wished their card were 18 that expires, or the data profile could be deleted from a national database. They don't even keep national database now. You go so scatter. I'm telling you, very soon they will tell Nigerians to come and register again because they don't keep national database. So you can tear your card as well. Nothing will happen. Nigeria is finished. Somebody is saying, but corruption is a northerner. Okay? It originated from the north and spread like wildfire to other parts of Nigeria between 1914 and 1956 upwards. 2015 being the highest year of corruption under an incompetent imposter. Can you imagine? The so-called judges adopted the positions of APC and Tinubu government. That shows they were not independent. They were influenced. Nigerians reserve from August to September nosedived from Nigerian reserve from nosedived from $33.5 billion to $3.4 billion. Where did all the money go? The masses have been suppressed since February to date. It is very bad. It is very, very bad. EU are paid agents. The early Biafrans, the early Africans realized this, the better. Who paid them in this instance? You need to tell us. That is it. Nigeria is finished under the APC government. Okay? So that is what is coming from the tribunal, saying that EU lacks credibility to fault Tinubu's election. But it did not lack credibility when they were collecting money from them to conduct election. False people. The day of reckoning is coming.